Right. In other news, Games Workshop have been working on a new ident.
Yes. So this is a little bit of just quick news, effectively, but we can have a little bit of chat as well. But the thing about this one that I thought was quite cool is that they had a big long post that went up on their Warhammer community website talking about the effort that had gone into creating this ident that will be used across all of their digital media going forward. And obviously, it looks at both 40k and the world of Age of Sigmar as well, with a Stormcast Eternal and a Space Marine in the midst of it, with the rousing music in the background that you will hopefully be playing in every Games Workshop store from now on. But this will be used for the likes of Angels of Death when that comes out, which is a sort of like animated adventure with the 3D rendering. There's also Eisenhorn, which is going to be their new real life series they're working on. And there's also going to be a 40k anthology series, which we've kind of had a little bit of a look at when they did their big sort of teaser thing towards the end of last year. But obviously now, this ident is going to carry on over everything they do in the future when it comes to this digital side of their takeover of the world, effectively, with all things Warhammer. The thing I think is really cool is that it kind of spurred on a lot of people on social media to be talking about what exactly they want to see. And I would love to see them do something to do with Gotrek and Felix. Obviously, they've had the new Gotrek appearing in Age of Sigmar, voiced by Brian Blessed. Imagine getting him involved to do a whole animated show or something. And I think that could be pretty awesome. But yeah.
I don't know where I sat on this.
This is what Space Marine could have been.
Yeah, I didn't even get to that bit because I watched the whole orchestra thing.
Oh yeah.
Where to create this ident, and they didn't go to a creator who did an orchestral piece, and just pay them for it. No, they booked an entire orchestral studio and an entire orchestra. Okay, and had the orchestra there in multiple sittings. Okay, to create the piece of music for this. Okay.
Yeah.
And
no expense spared.
No expense spared. And for the first time, I did sit back and I thought to myself, maybe you're getting too much cash. The fact that there's hundreds of solo musical creators who use digital processes and stuff like that, who could have created a piece of orchestral music that no one in our industry could have told the difference on. But you decided to go down the route of the proper Star Wars.
I think it was very Warhammer.
There is a kind of prestige to doing it this way.
Here's the thing. You watched that video, didn't you?
I watched a bit of it and I flicked through it, yeah.
Are you going to watch the rear of some guy sitting at a computer or a lady clicking a mouse with some headphones on?
No, probably not.
No, you're not.
No, probably not.
So they got some marketing out of it, didn't they?
They did.
They got the prestige.
But if you had took the budget from the brass section and used that to reprint the Warcry cards and keep them in stock.
Poor brass section.
This has me excited because I am really looking forward to seeing what they do with Gregor Eisenhorn.
I am looking forward to the content. I still haven't got over the full orchestra thing yet.
This animation thing, what way is it coming out? Is it coming out on TV or streaming? What way? What?
I don't know. I mean, like I know they're doing live action for Eisenhorn. I know they've got the guy who was doing. He did Death Watch on YouTube as like a Partworks video series. They've brought him on to do some Blood Angel stuff.
Yeah.
We see from the trailer there's going to be some Stormcast Eternal stuff, which might be great for Age of Sigmar because we might finally get a sense of life in the world.
Or get a story.
So what I'm trying to establish is this coming out through some sort of network or is this going to be a direct fed thing?
They're still experimenting at this stage. I'm sure they've all these deals all tied up long ago, but we just don't know about them. But
I'm hoping
we'll
Netflix.
wait and see. Any kind of media like that, well, not any kind of media. Obviously, some media could do the game more harm than good. But it'd be good to see some good stuff come out, some stuff that they fully commit to. But as I've said in the past, it'll be interesting to see the difference between what a credible director wants to make in terms of a piece of content and what Games Workshop want to make in terms of a piece of content. I am not a credible director, okay? So I look at the likes of Nightfall, which is all about the Crusades.
Allegedly.
And I think to myself, what the hell's going on here? You know, the best bit of
Don't
the,
worry,
the
we
best
all
bit of
think
the
that.
best bit of the whole show was the first 3.5 minutes of episode 1, and now it's all this lovey-dovey crap of queens and stuff sleeping with all the.
Have you made it through to the end of that series?
No, I haven't. No.
It's not really worth it.
Okay, so
the ending is a bit. meh.
So I would go into that as a non-credible director, and I have to admit it would be a non-credible director, and I'd be saying no. See all this intrigue and love interests and this Weasley little guy and stuff. We don't need any of that, right? Do you see that battle sequence in Akira, right? Let's expand that out over 18 episodes and do it that way. Now, my point being, that might make it a better show for us. And Nightfall's probably not the best example of this.
Really?
But but credible directors tend to want to tell different stories. And they will tell stories generally that involve people and humanity and human aspects like love making.
What's more human than scooping up all the psychers off a planet and feeding them to the Emperor?
So I just don't know how it's going to pan out.
This is why I think for the live action they are best doing an Inquisitor's story and not just a Space Marines one. Because the Space Marines one, let's be honest, it's just going to be bounce in, fight some stuff, come back, get a purity seal, bounce in, fight some bigger stuff, come home. Oh look, I lost my arm. I've got an augmetic now. Let's keep going.
Yeah, well, they could tell an interesting story.
Well, they're going to try to with the Blood Angels,
Blood
but
Quest.
it's
Just
CGI.
Blood Quest.
Are they just remaking the comic?
It would be great if they did Blood Quest. That'd be amazing. But you know,
see, I can't think of any significant piece of even award-winning TV or award-winning cinema in the fantasy or the sci-fi realms that didn't include the actual emotional stories and the romance and blah blah of its main characters. But none of that exists.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to create it.
Where?
With the all right, so I'm re-listening to Ravnor at the minute, right? And it's following an inquisitorial warband, and you do see the interplay between the different team members.
So who's making love to who?
Well, currently Cara Swole just fell in love with a local Medicae, so she's
I don't
getting
know
some.
who either of those people are.
Yeah, but you haven't listened to the stories. But it is within those stories, within those inquisitorial warbands.
Grim trying to get into my Lindy's panties, mind you.
All right. Yeah.
It was another Inquisitor story from many months ago.
This is a lass who's an acrobat that could probably snap your neck with her ankles.
Well, my Lindy was an assassin.
I see.
So
she wins.
it'll be interesting because I know that there's stories that we as gamers would love to see, but as I said, my version of Nightfall would be amazing to us, but to the wider, if we're talking about how this takes it to the wider audience, I'm just I just don't know how it translates.
It would be amazing to you. It sounds boring as hell to me.
The Siege of Acre,
stab two,
over
stab
18
three,
18
stab four,
episodes.
stab
Yeah.
five.
What you need is Kevin Feige. You need somebody to go, this is how
they would act.
this is what our universe is. And
so
then
Kevin Feige of Mandalorian fame, is that who we're talking
No,
about?
of Marvel Universe.
Oh, of Marvel. Sorry, my apologies.
The man who's responsible for the entire Marvel universe. The man who turned around and told Edgar Wright to go away because his version of Ant-Man wasn't what the studio wanted to portray.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had to do reshoots and get Joe Cornish in to finish it.
Yeah.
We're kind of having the same with Doctor Strange 2 at the minute.
So you've got that, and whenever they dumped Edgar, people were going, well, obviously it's going to be terrible because Edgar Wright's fantastic. Look at everything else he's done. It's been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what they're talking about. Then Ant-Man came out and everybody went, Thomas the Tank Engine. That was amazing. So you need...
Thomas the Tank Engine.
So you need somebody
that,
like Kevin.
I don't get it. What's the Thomas the Tank Engine reference?
The final fight.
There's a fight on a train set because Ant-Man shrinks. So they fight
on Thomas.
On Thomas.
All right, okay.
But you need...
And they accidentally embiggen.
And it is epic up until the moment they do the big fright at the end and scared the bejesus out of me.
Well, spoilers.
That bloody big ant.
Dog. Everybody's seen it by now.
Yeah.
But you need that. And I don't know who they're going to get.
Yeah.
Because the only person in charge of the studio at the moment, or in the old days, there used to be somebody in charge of the sculpts, somebody in charge of 40K, somebody in charge of fantasy.
Yeah.
And they were the directing
the
force
who
went, this is where the story's going, this is where these books are going to go, this is what the rules are going to be like. Now, I think there's just Jez in charge of the studio who while he developed the Eldar and that sort of thing, he's never done any of the background writing or any of that. It's been about the style choices. So I imagine this will be a scattershot approach where somebody's doing a live action and somebody's doing an Age of Sigmar animated and somebody else is going to do whatever. And whether or not they all pull in the same direction, like the Marvel Universe does, remains to be seen, because it could be more like DC than Marvel, where some of the films are good, some of the films are garbage, most of the films are garbage.
It will be interesting. It will be interesting. There's a checkered past here because, we were fortunate enough in 2010 to see the director of Ultramarine come out of the screening a broken man.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember.
He came out a broken man from that screening.
That was a different one.
And
was it?
And his exact words to me were, "This wasn't the movie that I wanted to make."
That was an event. That was a Games Day 2010.
So
that wasn't the actual movie.
No,
that was the trailer of it.
No, they had the original screenings at Games Day.
Was it?
And he came out.
No. They had some preview screenings before that. And then we met him at Games Day when he came out.
I think we met him at Games Day first, and then the other screenings came out after that. Games Day,
I thought it was
sure
just a preview. It wasn't the full movie at Games Day.
Well, whatever it was, he came out broken, absolutely broken. I have never seen a man more shell shocked. Coming out.
They had some good big names on the cast for that particular movie.
Yeah, but it wasn't the movie that he wanted to make. Yeah, and that was interesting. This is where this thing about a credible director, what they want to do, and what the universe as it currently stands will allow it to do. It'll be very interesting.
It's why I have high hopes for the Blood Angels one, because the guy that's working on it did a fan-made one for Death Watch, and just based on that is how he got hired by Workshop to be working on the Blood Angels one.
I think
that effectively
makes me run cold.
It just makes my it just makes me run cold as well. That's not a credible director. He might be great, but I mean, if you want this to become the next MCU or the next Star Wars or whatever, it's going to end up having to be run by someone like a J.J. Abrams, okay? And some people maybe go, "Oh God, no." But someone of that kind of echelon.
Are you trying to feed the mainstream or feed the fan base at this point? Because this guy has already done something that successfully fed the fan base.
It would have to be mainstream. If you're going to make a movie or a TV show that's going to networks, it will have to go to the mainstream.
Okay,
you can't make it for the fan base. All 15 of us. In terms of the planet, okay, that's a bit of turn the sarcasm gun down a bit.
Well, even if you take that and up that few millions, you're still not there. You're still not wide enough audience.
Yeah, well, I mean, like we figured it out one year. How many war gamers were on the planet? 2 million or something, we thought.
Oh well, there's more now. But the point is, any credible attempt at this has to be mainstream. It has to be mainstream. Otherwise, there is no point in doing it, because the production costs to do anything. We will only accept these days something that is of near the quality of what we would see in the cinema.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've all been spoiled with the likes of Game of Thrones.
Anything less than that is going to have the fan base going, ah.
Yeah.
But
if in order to and shiny, we don't like.
But in order to be able to afford that, they're going to have to create something for the mainstream.
That's going to have the proper terms.
And if they created even a fancy-looking version of Ultramarine, the mainstream is going to go, What?
Yeah.
What was that? That was the most boring thing I've ever seen. And it won't matter about the action sequences and everything else. If there's no agency to it, if there's nothing in there that makes you care about the characters, and I can't think of a single character within 40K other than Loken that I ever actually cared about.
I don't know. I have always enjoyed the inquisitorial stuff just because it's a different look. There's
Who
more
do you care
personality. Honestly, Gregor Eisenhorn himself, because at the beginning of his novel stories, he's a Puritan Inquisitor, so he's very hardline. But as you work through it, you slowly see him open up to the galaxy, see the wider universe, see that he might actually have to get himself a little bit dirty in order to defeat the powers of chaos.
Do you reckon they could make you care about him in one sitting?
Yes.
So how many books did it take you to care about him?
First book.
Okay.
And actually 2 chapters.
All right, 2 chapters. So there is the potential. Well, anyway, it's where we are. Keen to see it, but
30 years too late for Sean Connery to play Jack Draco. There was an Inquisitor. None of this bald Eisenhorn fella.